when you rolling with the wrong crew, or you're around the wrong people. Hi, friends, it's Adam, the crippled cannabis cowboy. Thanks for watching my belly aching video. This video is kind of just me belly aching about dumb shit, trying to connect with people that feel like I do. Now, I'm not perfect by any means. I've made lots of mistakes that I've paid for or I'm paying for now. When you go disabled or when you can't do anything and you're just basically strapped and you can only look straight ahead or up, you start to think about shit like how you grew up, everything you ever did. So in my brain, there's always a cycle of could you have done better with this? Could you have done better with that? Should you have behaved this way? Should you behave that way? There's a lot of that happens when you go disabled, and there's a lot of things that I found that I'm not happy with. One of the only things that kind of help, there's a few things that help a little bit, but this one helped the most, and that's kind of like forgiving myself. That it's like, all right, I made a mistake back then. That was a mistake and I gotta live with it. That happened. There's nothing I can do about it. That is a terrible feeling, but it's very true. And I'm sure lots of people out there regret something that happened to them, but now they're stuck with the leftovers. Like, you gotta clean up. Now, I paid attention to myself when this happened. I kind of reduced my timeline to find out where things started going bad. A lot of people dog me, a lot of people diss me, especially after I was diagnosed with whatever's wrong with me. Now, I don't want to say granted, like, no, I do not understand this. I'm not someone that would diss somebody like this, but I had a lot of mental issues. I grew up with mental issues. I thought I didn't have mental issues, and I have a plethora of mental illnesses, if you want to call it a mental illness, because no matter how much good stuff I did, my brain still resorts to all this bad shit. So I personally think that's mental illness. I shouldn't be looking at that bad stuff, especially my condition. So I learned that forgiving myself, realizing, hey, that was a long time ago. You were kind of young and dumb. And so, yeah, you're going to make mistakes. That's the best way to learn, is to make mistakes, because when something goes really bad and catastrophic, you pay attention to it and try not to let that happen again. Now, I was never a good judgment person. I like I I'm assuming I made judgment calls that were wrong. I made decisions that weren't good for me. And now that I'm older, and now that time's gone by and I'm crazy disabled, and all I can do is think about the things that happened. It goes back to, like, man, 15 years ago, I would say, around there. And that's like maybe where it started. Things got progressively worse. It started with a bad divorce, and I think that there are friends of mine that tell me that that's where I kind of started to lose my mind. So that encourages me to let everyone else know that if something bad is happening to you, something bad might be happening. There was something very bad with me, but I was treated wrong. So after I had gotten diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, that's when the really bad stuff started happening. Any woman I dated dissed me, my job dissed me, I had to leave my apartment. There's a lot of bad stuff that happens to you when you go disabled. Now, I noticed that's very common with people that are disabled, like getting a divorce, ending up being single, being stuck thinking of things you shouldn't be thinking about, wondering, would I be better if I did this? Would I be better if I did that? I kind of tried a lot of things. I haven't found a avenue that helps quite yet, so I'm still looking. So going back and looking at this situation, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. Now it makes sense. It makes sense to me now. So if these bad things are happening to you, or no bad thing, or just bad things in general, maybe it's just a rough time for you. It's okay. You can fix it. Maybe I don't want to say fix it, but you whatever bad happened, you could decide to move forward and make the better judgment calls for yourself. There's nothing you can do about the things that happened already, things that happened in your life, things that just basically happened to you. You can't change that, but you can change going forward. You can change who you decide to talk to, what you decide to do. I look at a lot of things and I meet a lot of people, but at the same time, I remember that there are red flags that I have to watch out for. And if I see a red flag, it's not something to ignore. And if bad shit's happening to you, that's okay, man. It's all right. The one thing that I noticed that I can't do is freak the fuck out. It just makes no sense. It's kind of like not worth it. I'm spending a lot of time looking at all the times that I made things worse for myself or someone else, or I made an abrasion, or I had that vibe about me or something like that. Looking at all that stuff, it's like it wasn't worth it. It definitely wasn't worth it. Where I go from here, who knows? But thanks for watching my video of me belly aching about all this stuff. If I connected with someone, that's awesome. Subscribe to the channel and help a brother out.